Okay. Got it. Let me go. Got it. Okay, so how this started was, the Ironman was a client idea. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I had what it entailed. So it was she wanted to do an Ironman 70.3. So I had to make sure what the distances were. So the swim was 1.2 miles, the bike was 56 miles, and the run was a half marathon. Well, we had to come up with the training schedule that surrounded all of that. So first of all, the main thing that she was not strong at was swimming. So we had to come up with the swim schedule where we felt strong enough to swim. And so since I am not a swim coach, I got somebody. I got a swim coach that came down and really started showing the both of us how to swim, because we all jump in a pool from time to time, but that is nothing compared to swimming like in the ocean or swimming in something. And so since I'm in the middle of the desert, there is absolutely no water around me. So we had to start in the pool, get strong in the pool, and then we took a trip to San Diego and
Wow.
we met with another coach down there, and he took us out into La Jolla Bay,
Wow.
the cove. And so we started swimming in there little by little because we were both rookies at this. And
Hmm.
so, it is night and day compared when you swim in a pool compared to how you swim open water. Because in open water, obviously, Michael, there are no lines for you to follow,
Hmm.
because as soon as you put your head into the water, you either see green or brown or what have you,
Ah,
sludge,
okay.
in front of you. You
Yeah.
can't see anything unless you're like in Hawaii, but we haven't done an Ironman in Hawaii. So, or like in the Caribbean where
So
it's
you
crystal
felt you
clear.
felt like scared there, like it's a totally different experience.
100%, 100%. We were
Hmm.
both terrified. We were like, oh my gosh. And so he started talking about sighting, and sighting is
Hmm.
when you're swimming and you look up to see, because in each Ironman, there's buoys. There's these huge triangle buoys coming out of the water that guide you where
Uh-huh.
to go. And some people to this day, Michael, like in this past race that I just did for Moto Bay, people are swimming sideways.
Why is
Like,
that? Because of current or something?
no, going in another direction. So I'm swimming, and all of a sudden I feel a
Oh,
presence, because they're not looking to see where the buoy is. And so I almost have to like, yo, look
right,
up.
right, right.
You're going the
Uh-huh.
wrong way. And so there are paddle boaters, there's people in kayaks that are watching us, because if we need help, we'll shoot. You know what I mean? It's like, we can put our hand up and they'll go to us. But there's people like watching us to see that everybody's okay. So we had to get used to swimming in a group too. So the coach would put us together in a lane really close together
Oh, really? Like a start, you mean?
at a start, because we had to feel each other's bodies and
Yeah.
not freak out that there's
Uh-huh.
somebody like right next to us.
Yeah.
So,
When you're swimming, right? It could be shark or
so
something.
right,
Right.
exactly. Or, because you get hit in the face, Michael. You get hit in the face. Sometimes with the feet in front, you'll get kicked in the face. So you have to kind of see where people are. And it's a totally different training. It's a totally different training when it comes to the swim part. Now, when it's with the biking part, 56 miles is a pretty long way. So Ironman puts out a race, like a race course, like where you're going to go through, and it shows you the elevations. So we have to practice elevations, going up and down hills,
The biking
seeing
part of it.
on the biking part of it. And so
Yeah.
what I do is I'm, on the Ironman little course, I see how long the distances are to climb. So this past one in Moto Bay, there was a 3.5 mile uphill. So here in El Paso, I have to map my route so that I emulate 3.5 mile.
That's pretty intense. 3.5 miles upward. That's like, well, that's a pretty strong. What is that? Like 10,000 feet or something?
No, no, it doesn't go that high because it's at a slight incline. It's not like it's going straight up like a rocket.
Okay,
It's,
okay.
the elevation gains for Moto Bay was something along the lines of 3,000 ascend. So, but it's not 3,000 ascend. It's like 150, 200,
Oh,
400, and they just add all those up
feet.
for
Okay,
us.
feet. Okay, got it.
That, because it's like this, it's
I
like a little,
I see what you're saying. So you
you
don't
see,
just go like straight up the mountain. It's just like up and then you come down, right?
correct,
Uh-huh.
correct. And so you have to emulate that during rides so that when you actually do the race,
Uh-huh.
you're good. You're not
Okay.
dying halfway through. And 56 miles, even in a car is a very long way. So pedaling that, you have to get used to the time as well. So there is bike trainers where you put your bike in a little apparatus like a Wahoo or whatever, and you just ride on there. And so you go for 2 to 3 hours to get used to your butt being on that saddle for that long.
Okay.
And so the next part is the running. And so
Wait, I just want to bring in your friend or your client.
mhm,
So is she still with the Iron Man, or you just surpassed her, or you guys worked out together to like, was
yeah,
she at Morro Bay with you?
we worked out. No, she wasn't at Moto Bay with me, but she was with me for Canada and for two ocean sides.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, she
she's
was
been
with me for
client for all
those.
these like 2 years, something like that.
What's up? I'm sorry.
How long has she been your client?
She has been my client for 12 years.
12 years. That's
For
retention,
12
man. That's
years.
fantastic.
Absolutely. And so she just one day decided, I don't know what she saw on TV or if someone mentioned it, and she started talking about Iron Man. And I'm like, what? I'm just like, okay. And me, the trainer, if someone says, hey, Brian, I want to do this, well, you have to just sit, research everything that there is to know about the event, and then emulate, try to make it mirror it where
Yeah.
you live to make sure that my client is successful. Well, in this case, she wanted me to do it with her.
Uh-huh.
And so she paid for airfare for the race. She even bought me a bike. And it's like, all right, Brian, you're in it. Let's go. And so, you know,
Great. So how did just you were finishing up with the running part,
uh-huh.
and then I'll ask you more about her. But
Okay.
how you kept that client for 12 years.
Yeah.
But how was the running thing? Like, so that how long are you running in the race?
So you're running for 13 miles. That's the distance. And so the the thing about getting off of a bike and starting to run, your legs feel completely different as if you were just to wake up and stretch and go for a
Yeah.
run. It's a completely
Well,
different.
also you swam too in the same swimming is first.
Swimming is first, and then you bike, and then you run. And so you have to get used to pedaling on a bike, getting off, taking off your cycling shoes, putting your running shoes on, and going. The first time people do that, your legs feel like a newborn giraffe.
You really
It's
like totally out of proportion, huh?
completely because you've exhausted certain muscles that you're
Right.
that you need to use for running. And so
Okay.
you're running and it's like, oh, it's so surprising to people that they're like, why can't I run? I'm a world-class athlete, after getting off of a bike. It's like it's a different thing that you need to train for. So what we started doing is we started going on bike rides of say 15 miles. Then we go out 7.5 miles, and then we come back to the starting point. We leave our bikes, we put our running shoes, and we start running. And we do a half mile to see how we
Okay.
feel. The first
Yeah.
time we did that, Michael, oh my gosh, we're like, what did we sign up for? What did we sign up for? Because we're running and we're thinking that we're in shape because shoot, we do 5Ks, we do 10Ks, easy stuff, right? So different. It's so
Mm.
different. And so you start getting used to that. You start getting used to it and you start building your triathlon legs from there. And it's just a repetitive thing, Michael, where we do it over, and it was every Saturday morning we would do a mini triathlon. Every Saturday we'd go and we'd swim, say 400 meters, whatever, 500 meters,
Mm.
whatever. We just got wet. Okay,
Yeah.
we hopped on the bike wet, because when you're in the Ironman, you don't go, hold on, do you have a changing room? Hold on, let me go change. Let me go put something warm on. No, we are wet. We hop on the bike and we go so that we feel, the wetness and the cold,
Yeah.
riding. And then we hop off of our bike. We have our shoes there and we take it off and we go. And so that's how we got into the Ironman. And once we started doing longer distances as training, then
Yeah.
it's not just three things that we have to work on. We have to work on transition. Transition is in between the water, between the water and the bike, and between the bike and the run. You have to set up everything just so. And it's funny that I bring this up because as I was leaving the running area, the guy behind me still had his helmet on because he
Okay.
forgot about the helmet. So,
Yeah.
people behind me were screaming, helmet, helmet, helmet. And I'm looking back, and I'm looking at this guy going, oh, and had to run back to the transition to drop off his helmet, put his cap on and his glasses and go. So you have to practice. What are you going to take off first? What are you
Is
going
that
to put
just to
on
save
first?
energy, or is that just like you guys are really competing? You guys want to
That's for
come in 10th
time.
place. That's for
That's
time.
for time. Absolutely. That's
Uh-huh.
that's for time. And these professionals have their routine down. They have everything where it's like boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom,
Right.
boom, boom, go.
So you're racing against professionals. I mean, do you consider
Oh,
yourself, since you're a trainer, you're a professional athlete? Is that right?
you know what? I'm not as fast as these professionals because my life isn't triathlon. My life
Okay.
is, it's fitness, but these guys are on the bike 100 miles a day. They're running half marathons every day.
Uh,
They're doing stuff like
right.
that where
Right.
their life is
Yeah.
basically triathlon.
Mhm.
Me,
Okay.
I have a family, I can't
Mm.
go off and be like, hey guys, I'll see you guys. I'll be back in 3 hours. No, I have to go work. I have to go train my clients. I have to
Right.
go.
Right. How did the
And
injury come to you? I mean, that's been occupying your post for the last
oh
year.
gosh. So I've had plantar fasciitis since December 10th of last year. And so
22.
today's June 1st. So since last year, December 10th, and I felt it after I did a competitive 10K race, the international 10K. And so I felt it during breakfast. I'm just like, why is my heel hurting this much? Like, what's going on? And so, I would ice it, Michael. I would stretch it. Okay, it would get better, but then it would come back. It's like, oh, this is lingering. So I went to the doctor and he's like, this is plantar fasciitis. He's like, Brian, this takes a while to get rid of. And so I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I am like a month and a half out from this race.
The Moro
Uh,
race? Oh, no, another
yeah,
race.
no, from the Moto Bay race.
Oh,
And I'm
really?
just like,
Okay.
what am I going to do? Because I haven't ran, I haven't done anything. And so before I left, he gave me a shot, a cortisone shot in my heel just to numb the pain. And I went to physical therapy for 4 sessions. Actually, before I got on the flight to go to Moto Bay, I had a physical therapy session where they put a patch on my heel and they put a TENS unit and they turned it on and got all of the medication into my heel. And so they
Oh,
gave me a cream, a special cream that I had to put on 3 times, excuse me, 3 times a day. And so I would
uh-huh.
put that on my heel religiously. So,
Mhm.
needless to say, I think what helped me the most during this past Ironman was that the weather, that the temperature was cold. The high was like 57 degrees. The water was 52 degrees. So it
Mhm.
was a really cold race. And I think that with the cold, it kind of worked on my heel a little bit. Kind of worked on my
Gotcha.
heel. And so, almost like an ice bath, it seemed like, that.
So
And
that's
so,
pretty hardcore though to get a cortisone shot. Hey, because I got to go run this race. That's not for weekend athletes. That kind of
right.
stuff.
Right. And so, the doctor understood, he kind of looked at me like, okay,
Mhm.
Ryan, but after this, you need to rest. And so he says, and I got in on Sunday night. I went to go see him on Tuesday because my heel was really bothering me. And he gave me another cortisone shot. And he told me no running for a month. Let's rest
Yeah.
for a month. And I'm like, well, I have a mini triathlon. I have a sprint triathlon in August 27th. So I
Okay.
really want to be okay for that.
Mhm. All right, great. Switching gears for a second, I'm actually enjoying this conversation. I think it's a potential blog. I mean, podcast. No?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I can talk about all my experiences and all of that forever, and
Oh.
what I took for granted and what people should really focus on.
Okay, so what is do your clients have like a general favorite workout, or I'm
You
sure
know
everybody
what?
has different goals and results, but is there something that people really that you see as a common thread between, with your clients?
Um, you know what? Every client's different, Michael. Every client is different. Right now I currently have 24 clients and they're all different. Everybody has, a different goal and what they want to achieve. I think the main kind of goal between all of my clients is weight loss. I think that's kind of like the main little deal there. Weight loss, but other than that, I just have that one client who's always like, hey, what's the next adventure that we're going to do? And I wish all my clients were like that, like, hey, I want to go do this, I want to go do that. But when it comes to training my clients, the thing that I make sure is that it's never the same workout. I think that is why I've had clients for so long. It's like they don't get the same workout ever. They never have the same workout. And so what I like to do too as a trainer is I like to change the environment from time to time. And what I mean by that is here we have beautiful mountains, and so I pick a day, usually like a Saturday morning, where I invite all my clients. It's like, hey, let's go for a 5K walk. And so, we go and we do stuff like that together and they network within each other.
Oh,
It's
that's
like, hey, what do you do?
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I try to do as a trainer is I don't see my clients as clients. I see them as like extended family. And so what I'm trying to do is develop almost like a cult within my team where we're all using each other like, hey, you sell insurance? Oh, great. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're a lawyer? Oh, you're a business owner? Oh, you do this? Oh, you do that. And so they all
Like
start
a
talking
community,
about it.
organic community, club kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Is that motivating your clients as well to keep with you? And hey, if I leave, I'm gonna miss, my other buddy who lives across town or whatever.
Not really. I really don't see it like that. I think that they just really enjoy like the workouts and the conversation. I make it a point to really have like things to talk about and things to ask. The good thing with me, that I'm blessed with is I have a great memory. I have a really good memory and I remember stuff that my clients say. And so like if they had, say, like a meeting, that they were worried about, the next time I see them, it's like, hey, how'd your meeting go? And they're like, oh yeah, and so that, I think, Michael, is a really good key to having these clients and these clients staying with you, is that you really listen and you're not the trainer waiting to talk. You're the trainer waiting to listen and kind of give advice and good advice,
Yeah,
and
but
just
that doesn't have anything to do with weight loss.
it does not. It does not, Michael. And there's some people who have stayed with me who I have killed. Oh my God. I have killed. And and we do these boot camp styles like, all right, you know what? This isn't working, but we're going to do this instead. And then we're going to do like
Mhm.
this circuit training. And then you know what? We're going to stay away from circuit training. We're going to do straight weight training. And so, but they're not following the diet. A lot of these trainers kill themselves and like, you know what? Okay, what am I doing? What can I do differently? What can I do here? What can I do? And I sign homework. And it's like, did you do your homework? Did you do this? And sometimes my clients just don't lose weight. And
Mhm.
and I know that as a trainer, that's kind of deflating.
Right, that
As
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Mhm.
my job is to make you look better. My job is to make you healthier. My job is to make you stronger. That's why you're here. But sometimes you're going to have clients that are there for the conversation, which I know is kind of weird to say that. But Michael, I've seen trainers everywhere and I've seen their clients, and some of the clients look exactly the same. And it's like, what? Like, are you changing it up? He's all, yeah, you know? And so I don't know. It's
I
it's
used to feel like that as a student too. When I had a trainer,
mhm,
I my trainer Dion, who was a great guy. Eventually, I
mhm,
got hurt my knee a little bit and had to sort of lay off. But he said, "Hey, man, how come you're not losing weight?" And he said, "Well," I said, "Well, hey, I'm getting stronger. Everybody looks says that I'm looking a lot stronger." And she said, "Well, you don't want to be pudgy and strong underneath." And I said, "You know what? Maybe it's not so bad. Like because whatever, I'm an obsessive eater or I just eat, I'm not a great eater, don't have like the healthiest diet or whatever,
right,
but you know what, that strength underneath means a lot to me, and because I know that I'm getting stronger, I'm feeling stronger, I'm going longer, going harder, and everything
right,
else.
right. And and I think it's important for us trainers that when we have clients who are like that, we have our own goals for them. Like, for example, we write down stuff. Like we have an orientation with every single client that we do, and we talk to them. It's like, okay, what do you want to accomplish with us? What are you looking to do? And so, of course, they say, oh, well, I want to lose this, and I want this, and I want that, and this over here. And I'm just like, okay, and are you just here for like a cosmetic? Is there something you're getting ready for? Are there 5Ks? Are there anything that you want to train for? And that conversation comes later because they're so concerned with, oh my gosh, and this and that. And so once they start seeing it go down, it's like they forget about that goal now. And I keep reminding them, it's like, remember you told me that this is
Mhm.
what you want to do. And it changes. They're like, you know what, Brian, I want to run. I want to be able to run. So I work on all of the muscles that we need in order for them to run. Even if they have a bum knee, then I research rehab exercises for that knee and see how strong I can really get it. But being on an elliptical for 10 minutes is like was a goal for some of my clients. Now they surpass that. So I remind them every time of all the little achievements that they have done. Now, if there's no achievements, then I start going, okay,
Right.
hold on. What are we doing? What do you want to accomplish next? And so that's when we have another orientation. And I always have a survey with my clients that I do every 6 months. And it's like, how am I doing as a trainer? Am I
Mhm.
fulfilling what you need? Am I making you stronger? Am I making you healthier? Do you feel better coming to
Mhm.
me? And so I'm always, and like, oh yeah, it's always like flying colors. And I'm like, tell me something that I need
Right,
to do
right, right.
differently. Don't just throw sunshine on me. I'm like,
Yeah,
mix it with clouds,
right,
mix it with
right.
some clouds. Tell me something.
Yeah,
And
don't
so
BS me. There's got to be something.
there has to
And
be something.
but that achievement, your clients feel that as well? Like, do they feel that sense of achievement? We,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, that seems to me that, okay, weight loss is one thing,
Hmm.
but that the achievement of weight loss is as powerful as looking better. I know
Right.
that some of the women in my life who are pretty diet serious, is
Hmm.
that they say, hey, and I've seen this, from other athletes and so forth, after you have a baby or after you've gained some weight, and they sometimes takes time to lose weight
It
because
does.
you're not on best form. You got other stuff to worry about, and so the achievement of losing that weight, even if it's a few years later or whatever, that
Hmm.
is as powerful as looking better.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing. Let me tell you, I had a client, gosh, I would say about 9 years ago. And she was like obsessed. She's like, I need to lose 60 pounds. And I'm looking at her, I'm just like, have you ever weight trained before? She's like, no. I'm like, what do you do now? And she's all, I walk. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I walk. Perfect. So she wanted to hire me every day. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. You've never weight trained and you want to hire me every day. And so I built a little program and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to see you on the weekend. I already told her. I'm just like, you know what? I'm
right.
not going to see you Saturday or Sunday, not because I don't work, but because I need her time to rest.
Yeah.
And so I gave her a diet. I'm just like, what do you eat now? And she talked about burgers and she had chips and she had, she loved to have her evening cake and this and that. And so I'm just like, you have to not, you're not going to eat that. She's all, well, what do I eat? And I gave her a list of the good meats, the bad meats, the good veggies, the bad veggies, the good fruits, the bad fruits, and like all of this stuff. And so we came up with
Carbs.
Yes, all of that. We came up with the plan. We came up with the plan. Michael, she was obsessed.
Really.
She lost 60 pounds in 4 months.
60 pounds in 4 months. That's amazing. She must have felt great. Looked great. Felt great.
She felt great. And then she's like, Brian, I lost everything that I needed to. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. And I'm like, fantastic. I'm like, keep going. I saw her like 3 years later, and she had gained that weight back and then some.
Oh
So
boy.
I don't know if I don't know what something was going on in her life, but she was very determined. I mean, she came in every day, laser focus. And I think about her, from time to time because I wish that some of my clients had that laser focus. I don't know, I'm grateful, that my client
It was a short term kind of focus though,
It
no?
was it was a short-term focus for her, but she
Yeah.
was laser focused. I mean, everything that I wrote down and it's like, you don't eat this, you don't eat this, and you don't eat this. She
Mhm.
did not eat that.
Mhm.
We no sugar, like no sugar, no breads, no anything that will dirty the pool. I call the
Mhm.
body the pool. And it's
Right.
and it's like, okay. And she followed it.
Okay.
And I don't know. But anyway, I think about her from time to time.
one got away in a sense.
Yeah,
Mm.
in a way, but she accomplished what she wanted to accomplish, and then that was it. And some trainers think that, they're like, your limit with me is 6 months. And I'm just like, I don't understand that thinking. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that
Right.
thinking because, like I told you earlier, I've had this client, the Ironman client for 13 years,
Yeah.
you know, and she's strong and she's motivated, and it's like she's like, you know,
She's
part of the
taken
family.
the adventure. She's taken the adventure part to heart. I mean,
Yeah,
to train and do an Ironman. That's a true adventure. That's a, like you said, that's a cult level. All
yeah,
right. Well, Brian, thanks so much. I mean, this has been a great conversation,
awesome. I
and
hope,
it's really valuable because I'm looking at this whole project a little bit differently, and I'm wanting to add more value for you
yeah,
and really what your concerns are
mhm,
and how we can relate that to other trainers. And so like you said, it's not just about the money, it's about the achievement, and it's about the growth and the challenge, and so that's what I want trainers to be able to express. So
yeah,
this conversation, if we, I'll talk to you about it a little bit later, but I'm just going to end the recording now.
okay,
Okay. But
awesome.
thanks so much. Yeah.
Absolutely, Michael. Thank you so much for having me on here.